and welcome to Talking Press. Talking Press.
Talking Press. Yay!
Talking Press. Talking Small Press, episode 49, with Steve Keeter and me, Larned Justin. So we tried to do this yesterday, and we had mucho problems.
Muchos problemas.
Yeah. So today it looks pretty good. So I think we're all right.
That's good news.
The first thing I wanted to do before we get started is give our friends over at Comics in the Making a shout out. That's Ryan Holgerson and Levi Erickson. And I'm telling you, if you are just starting out in small press, or if you've been doing small press comics for a while, these guys have some great info. I mean, they talk about the real details of what you need to do to make a comic. And they're very good at it. They've been doing it a long time. Both excellent artists. And I would recommend going over to that YouTube channel for anybody that's really interested in making comics or understanding what it takes to make comics.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see the much younger version of what we could have been.
Yes.
These guys, they're but we're
they look just
the
like
geriatric
us when we
version.
Were younger. Yeah.
That's right, exactly. I think neither one of them has a good mustache like this.
No.
Or a good beard like yours.
No, they didn't learn that yet. That's one of the things they haven't learned yet, as a matter of fact. So anyway,
it's a great show. It really is.
Someday, but no, no. All kidding aside, very, very good YouTube show.
Yeah,
so,
just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they've only been on not too long. I think the two of them together may have 4 episodes together. I think Levi started by himself.
He started with another guy. There was another guy out.
Was there another guy? Okay.
Yeah, at first.
Now he has Ryan, and Ryan is one excellent cartoonist, I can tell you
Levi
that.
is a trooper, man, because he was working, even when his air conditioner wasn't working, he still...
he was still making the video.
Did you see that one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the air conditioner was like 95 degrees outside or 100 degrees, and he's like, we're going to do this show, man. And that's all there is to it. We owe it to small press. We owe it to the people, man.
Yeah. I got to take a quick break here real quick. I've got to do an invitation to a black screen so that we can get our comic covers up in here. So let me do this invitation.
Wow, I thought we were going to have like another person or something. Maybe like invite Joe Biden. This is Small Press Comic. That's my Joe Biden invitation. How'd you like it?
Good.
I'll let you get while he's doing that. Let me just say something. Okay, a lot of you think that Larned and I are separated by several states. You think I live in Florida? I think he's talking to his wife.
No, I'm trying to get this.
Okay, well he's doing that. Let's play around. Okay, but actually, and Larned lives. The rumor is that Larned lives in Missouri and I live in Florida. This is not true. Larned and I are right here together. We're here together at the same time. If you want to see us both, here we go. This is Larned in person, right here with me. Welcome to Small Press Comics. Hi, I have a beard. You can't grow a beard. You're not macho. You see, that's Larned right there. That's him. And he's here with me, so that proves that we actually live in the same vicinity. Larned, is this you?
Yeah, that's me. I don't know why you can't recognize me.
I'm not Larned. Wow, you lied to me. That's okay. I fixed the problem. We're just waiting on... We're waiting on this black screen.
No, just a second. This black screen's got to come in here.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
And there it is right there. Now we got that. And we can put our... well, we can do it a little different way. There you go. That's how we usually do it. Right?
I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah. Okay, I know what it is. How about now?
Perfecto.
Yeah, that way I had to
Muy
mute the
bien.
mic. On the black screen has a life of its own, so I had to move
Yes, indeed.
his mic. So I muted his mic, so we should be okay now.
Okay,
As far
I want
as
to
I can
mention
tell.
something. I want to mention something right off the bat.
Okay.
Okay, and it's Jim Maine's Sci-Fi Shall Not Die. Now,
Oh.
this is the hard copy of this.
Mhm.
Jim had sent me a JPEG, not a JPEG, a PDF of the entire publication. There's an illustration by Larned in here. Now, I reviewed this already. It's page 12, illustration by Larned.
Oh, I don't even remember this. This ought to be good.
Remember this one?
Oh, yeah. That was for, he was doing something with science fiction movies from the 50s.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And I
this
did
entire,
that one.
There's a lot of illustrations of science
Yeah.
fiction,
Right.
science fiction illustrations based on movies.
Yeah, that's what that was.
This is interesting because this is like the Amazing Colossal Man.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Who did this page? Is this Tom Ahern? It looks just like Tom Ahern. Let me check something out. What page was that?
Okay.
23? 22 is Tom Ahern. Now the thing is, maybe this is supposed to be the Amazing Colossal Man,
It looks
but it
like
looks like my character, the Titan. Looks just like him.
No kidding.
And Tom Ahern has inked Sunwing and the Titan Adventures, that I've written for my small press comic for the Sunwing actually. So I don't know. Maybe this could be either my character, the Titan, or the Amazing Colossal Man. But it's really cool. Okay, I'm going to mention this because this is actually some stuff that we review ends up on our Patreon page. We have a Patreon page. And it's inexpensive. Well, it's like $3.
$3 a month.
$3 a month, and we have other videos, all kinds of other videos. I still want to refer back to the AI video where we interviewed Dan Burke and Tom Fellrath, and they were giving their. That's one of my favorite ones on the Patreon page. But if you want to check it out and you want to see some other stuff that you're not going to see on this page, Larned will have the information down below. I'm certain.
Yes, the information is down below on every episode. And the other thing is, we did spend a little Patreon money on some books that are in the mail to us. So that will be coming up, and that is the idea of Patreon, that we can buy some books that you don't normally see and show those on here too. So books that people send us is great. That's what we strive for. That's what we do the show on. But we want to purchase some that are a little harder to find, and that's what we're using the Patreon funds for.
Yeah, that
So
helps
we
us.
will have both.
Helps us to promote small. I mean, I get we get a lot of stuff. People are kind enough to send us their small press publications.
Right.
I'm also in the UFO, so I get any UFO United Fanzine Organization books that are published. I get free copies of those. Free copies are great, but we know you guys you're spending your money to do your thing, and you're doing great work. And so sometimes if we see something that we're really interested in, we'll go ahead and order it. But those Patreon funds help us to afford to buy
what they're for.
your zines.
All the Patreon funds go back into the show. We don't spend them on anything else except comic books.
Yeah.
So
Cheetos.
anyway, all
Cheetos-
right, I think we are ready to get. We got a lot in this episode that we got to fit in.
Cheetos and Diet Pepsi. We spend money on that too, but we don't spend your money on that.
No, you do, and then you send me a Cheeto once in a while in the mail.
Right.
But,
half a
other than
Cheeto
that-
because I need the other
Or
half.
half a Cheeto, yeah. Before they tune us out, I suggest we do some comics.
Yep. I got something. We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot. So
You have
gotta
this
get going.
one?
We did that one already. I'm sorry.
No, we didn't. We mentioned it, but we didn't
I
actually review it.
considered we did that.
Yeah, it's from
I'm
Ian
sorry,
Shires.
I don't have that.
We mentioned it's okay. We mentioned it at the end of the last episode, and we mentioned that I was just looking at it, and we mentioned that it's one of the ones coming up. I will say, okay.
Go
so
ahead.
we don't have to
Go ahead.
spend a lot of time on it.
No, go ahead. It's not really a comic book. It is Ian Shires kind of telling people what he's done. Go ahead and show that.
Yeah, when we saw him at the space convention, he said this is all about know me.
Getting to know Ian.
Yeah, so he's talking about what's happened to him over the last couple of years, and he's had some health problems and stuff, but he's coming back strong. So, yeah, okay, we won't get into it too much. Ian is back. He rejoined the UFO. He published Dungar the Barbarian before, and self-publisher. Self-publisher was
self-publisher was real big for a long time.
Comics Reviewing. Anyway, he's back, and the bottom line is this.
Now let's have fun.
Let's have fun.
Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's back, and Ian, we mentioned you twice now. Yeah. So.
So send money.
Send money. It's probably like $1. I think it's like $1. Just send him $1, and he'll send you this.
Yeah, postage, I think maybe.
But he's got more stuff coming up. Stuff coming up.
He's back. Yeah.
And great to see Ian back up and publishing again.
Okay. All right. I got this one.
Matrix.
Sherman Burnett.
Sherman Burnett, you bet.
This is interesting. We've got to talk about the very first story in here by Donald Tenney.
Yep, Donald Tenney.
We've got to, we're just going to show you the artwork here is a little bit difficult to follow.
Okay, the thing about Donald, I've been watching Donald.
I was just going to say, it's just a really different style. I don't quite know how it was done.
I think Donald, he does mostly on like an iPad or something. Does he?
You think?
Yeah, I think he does just about everything.
Quite like that.
And this story, there's a story by Sherman Burnett for the first story. Well, these are his characters. Artwork by Donald Tenney. I've been following Donald Tenney since he popped up on Facebook a year or two ago, and he's obviously a talented guy. I mean, you look at some of the faces on the characters.
Intricate artwork, yeah.
They're expressive.
It's kind of unusual because it's a lot in there.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to decipher because first of all, it looks like it could stand to be re-inked. The thickness of the lines, there should be thicker lines on the characters in the front and thinner lines on the, but basically it looks a little cluttered. Now this is not a you could say it's a criticism, but the thing is, Donald, it would look good in color because then you can see.
I'll bet, yeah.
But you see a lot going on here, and like I say, Donald is clearly very talented. It would look good either in color or there you go. The faces are all good here.
Yeah, I'd like if he watches this, maybe he can tell us how this is done. It's kind of neat, but
I think it's done.
Now, when you reduce it down to a mini comic, I think that may affect it a little bit. It becomes
a little cluttered.
Yeah.
But it's still totally it's still readable. It's just that you want to be able to
different than you're used to.
Yeah. You want to see the characters in the front a little bolder, and in the back a little.
And then, of course, he's got another story in there by Tony Lorenz, right here.
We love Tony Lorenz.
Home. Tony Lorenz has to be the busiest cartoonist in history.
Yeah.
Everything I look at is by Tony Lorenz. I don't know how he has the time to do it.
And
he is so good. He does such great cartooning. How does he do it that quick for everybody?
And Sherman Burnett wrote this story, but he's talking about his character. The Matrix is his character.
The Matrix is Sherman Burnett's character. That's what
Yep.
the story is about, of course.
And yeah, I mean, I like the artwork in this one. I
Very nice.
always
Very
enjoy
nice.
Tony's work.
Yeah. Well, we've got other comics tonight in this show that Tony has done. So, like I say, one busy cartoonist.
Yep. So, it
this
reveals here.
I was going to say, this is 32 pages now, The Matrix. It's 32 pages, and it is $2.50 from Sherman Burnett. I'll have his info down below.
Definitely worth that, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie Andrews is the Matrix. And she goes to, she has a daughter. She goes to visit her family. She meets her father, or her parents are there, and there's some scenes with her daughter. And what else is going on here? It's not just a
Finally,
family
toward
reunion.
the end here, you get really into some, you know, the action part of the story.
Yeah. Her parents don't, you know, she has to convince her parents that she's the Matrix, and she's like,
Yeah.
well, how about this?
Yeah, and she's floating in air. Yeah, I like
Floating
that
in the air,
page. It's
glowing.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But it's continuing a tradition of comics from Sherman Burnett. He's one of the, he's one.
I don't know how long Sherman's been doing
writer,
this. It's got to
and
be a long
publisher.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
back. Now the thing is,
He
there's
tells
a
you
mini
in
comic.
the I was going to say, he tells you
I'm gonna
in
break this out.
The Matrix missives a little about this. You kind of have to. He tells you kind of have to have the previous issue, and this issue came out, I think, before the previous issue. I can't explain it, but he can explain it in here. So it's a little different. Matrix 23 is what you need to help you with the story in this, is the way I understand it.
Well, one of his characters, Miss Amazing. Miss Amazing. This is Miss Amazing. She has a battle. There's a group of bad guys out there, and the particular bad guy that she has a battle with is what's his name, like Blaster or something like that. I'm looking.
Okay.
Yeah, it is kind of small, you know, but it's still cool. All the artwork is good. I'm not sure who did the artwork on this particular story. But it all holds together very well. There is a wraparound full-color cover by Scott McClung, who is utterly amazing.
Yeah,
anything he does is great.
Yeah, very well done.
And Sherman, a lot of his heroes are females. A lot of female superheroes. Don't go watch the movie The Marvels is coming up. It may not be great, but anything Sherman Burnett publishes is absolutely worth taking a look at. So.
Now he also sent Scarab.
Oh,
a little
Scarab.
mini, 75-cent mini. This is #1 Scarab special. And guess what? The art is by Tony
Lorenz.
And the
Lorenz.
story is by Guy Sparkman, who is coming up later in this show also.
Right.
So, once again, you have Tony Lorenz art.
Well, the Blaster is actually in this story. I can't even give you the stories mixed up. But the Blaster, it's been 2 years since Lawrence Abner dove into Nevada Chemicals and he disappeared. Well, later on you find out, you know, it's comics, so nobody really disappears forever. But we, but
look at
we
this
have,
panel. Look at this panel. I mean, I'm big on the art part of comics. Look at that panel.
Yeah, that's the new Scarab.
Yeah.
And
That's quite
as
a
opposed to,
pose there.
I guess it was her mom was the original Scarab, and she's taken over that role. Yeah, that is an interesting picture. She's just yeah. I had to stop and look at that one.
Yeah, I know. I went, whoop.
Yeah, but she has this staff or something that she uses to swing. And there's a really nasty villain in here called the Skull. Let's get a good shot of him.
I'm trying to find one that I could get a picture. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
kind of right here. See the skull?
A good close-up.
In the inset?
Yeah, that's actually the one I was looking at. Yeah, right there.
Right in the inset there.
That's a nasty-looking guy. Yeah. And the new Scarab, she comes across a group of heroes.
Look at all the heroes that are in this.
What is it? The Freedom Brigade? I just read it. The Freedom Brigade.
Freedom Brigade, is it? Yeah, look at that.
The Freedom Brigade, and they're older, wiser, but they can use our help because I think they need some young blood in the group. And so,
well, they got a pretty good sized group there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, very cool.
Look at the end. They've got even more. They're showing even more of the new heroes. There's like, and these are like descendants.
I was showing that. Yeah.
Descendants of the original heroes. Right. That's what you were showing. Yeah. Yeah. And so you got a whole group of people. It's like all in the family.
Yeah.
You got one guy here. He busts through a wall to save a Scarab. He looks a little bit like Ben Grimm, but he's a stone figure. So you got a bunch of powerful heroes, and they're going up against the Skull, and they're going to track this guy down and the organization that he's part of, and clearly he's not going to stand a chance. So some nice perspective scenes by Tony Lorenz.
Beautiful.
With the Scarab up there on a rooftop.
And also,
really nice.
Yeah. Back here, you got 4 more Scarab issues that are available. So I think that those may be $1.75 individually. This one, number 1, is 75 cents.
Yep. And then there's there's a editorial from Sherman Burnett. He didn't do the story or the art, but he published this, and they're his characters, by golly. So well worth supporting. He's been doing this stuff for a long time, and I always enjoy anything from Sherman Burnett.
Oh yeah.
So. Yep. There's another scene of the bad guys.
Yeah.
That Skull guy, he's pretty creepy.
There's a skull right there. Yeah, that's the bad guys.
Yeah, Lawrence Abner, at the beginning it mentioned he fell into a vat of chemicals. Well, that's Lawrence Abner.
Didn't do his face any good.
No, it wasn't helpful at all.
No.
He could have, he should have fell into like a Retin A bottle or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a little sunscreen, something.
Okay. So, up next
is,
I guess we could do, how about Uncanny issues 1 to 4 collected.
That's the one I had on top. Right there.
Is that the one you had right on top?
Yeah,
all right.
I was ready for this one.
Great minds think alike.
This is by the great John Muller. I can't say enough.
Muller is one heck of an artist.
One heck of an artist, and that's for sure. I mean,
now I will say this: the collected is on newsprint.
Yeah. How rare is that?
The art is fantastic, but I do notice that on newsprint, when you go to your real dark blacks, you can't probably see it on the screen, but I can see it. It's not as dark as it is on maybe a more shiny type paper or something.
Yeah, I see
Still
where
great, but you can notice a difference.
it's a little grayish, you know. There's some lines.
It's a little,
and stuff.
yeah, a little see-through. If I got the light just right, maybe you could see it, but.
It doesn't interfere with the story. I mean,
Oh no, not a bit. I'm
story
just saying you can
excellent.
notice the difference because it is on newsprint.
I'll mention John Muller very quickly here. This was the cover of the latest issue of Tetragrammaton Fragments, the UFO News. Look at this cover by John.
If you can look at the girl sitting there, show. I don't have that right in front of me. Show the girl, and you'll see the brightness from her phone against her face. You see that? It puts a glow around her.
Yeah.
That is very tricky to do, to pull that off. And it looks better in person when you see the real thing. But
this is cool.
Is pretty cool.
Cause they're at a comics stand where they're selling comics, and they're looking at a bunch of actual small press zines.
Yeah.
Back there. So stuff from Tom Fellrath and. Everybody, Kurt Erickson. I mean, you can actually see some actual zines, and the back cover is the same scene, only from the back.
Yeah, you see him from the back. Yeah. But
so that was a great cover.
Uncanny Action with John Muller.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, I mean the artwork is fantastic.
Pretty cool.
It really is.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
And the heroine, of course, here. This is the heroine. She's the center of the story.
She says, "It had slept for thousands upon thousands of years, and I will kill it." So you know there's some high drama going on here. And, yep, so that's the heroine.
That's not the heroine.
That's not the heroine?
The heroine is the girl. Right here. Yeah. Let
me check something out here. Yeah.
And she has this gauntlet that can show her the targets that she's after.
So this must be her.
That could be.
In any case, there's some exciting action here.
Look at that.
For 2,000 years I've lived here. Yeah, that's Big Monster. Big Monster trying to eat a cow, and she runs to a. You know, she's not gonna stand for that, and so it's a continued story.
Yeah. It is 1 through 4. So I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure where these were published before. But,
that's what I'm. Oh, I think
he's compiled the first 4 stories, and she's off on a mission. She comes to the Great Hall at the end.
See, this is uncanny. This is Uncanny Action number 1, and it covers. Let me see.
Number 1 through 4.
Covers pages 1 to 4.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually mention in an editorial or anything where exactly these were published before.
No.
Maybe they were in another small press comic.
1 to 4. I'm trying to understand this. See what it says here? Uncanny Action number 1, page 1 to 4. Uncanny Action number 2, page 5 to 8. Uncanny 3, and then 4, and then we have Uncanny Action 5. And I read this wrong when I was looking at it. I read it as collected 1 to 4, but that's pages 1 to 4 of issue 1.
Okay.
I think. And John may have to correct us because sometimes we don't get this stuff right. But that is number 5 right there with a beautiful full color.
Right.
Cover.
We've seen that one, definitely.
And also, look at the back.
So this gives you some background information here. So.
And here's the kind of stuff John does. He does concept art, graphic design, comic book production, writing, penciling, inking, coloring, lettering, advertising, game design, and art illustration logos. Now, what else could you do?
Multi-talented, absolutely. I think right now I would have to say that John Muller, and again, I really haven't heard about John Muller.
I never did
my
either.
Bad. During the last
my
couple of
gosh.
years, he pops up and he's just this great talented. And he can
Look
do
at
it
that.
all, as you said. So
My
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
And this, like I say, this is Uncanny number 5.
Mhm.
Tells you in here. And again, our heroine is in here.
Right. I don't have that one in front of me though. I'm
Oh, you
not
don't?
sure.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this is very cool. Very.
That's
This
okay.
is on. Now, here we go with slick paper. This is on very slick paper,
Oh, that's beautiful.
and I think it helps his artwork even more on this real slick paper.
Yeah.
I like it.
His artwork deserves the highest quality reproduction. I mean,
Yeah,
it's that
yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's very short. It's only a couple pages, but
Uh-huh.
you can get the idea. And very cool. It's only $2, but you're really getting some beautiful, beautiful
Absolutely
art.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
His work in color is even more amazing. So
Yeah. Really nice.
really,
What an artist!
I
Wow.
mean, one of my recent talents. Who I don't know. He may have had a long history, but I've
He
only
may have, but-
seen him over the last couple of years. But
Mhm.
of all the recent talents, he's right at the top of my
He is.
list of one of
He
the
is
finest
re-
artists in small
really good.
press.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Okay. What do you got next?
What do we got
See
next?
if you have the same thing I do this time. That'd be funny.
I got a small
top.
press action theater here.
Right on top, buddy. Right
Yeah.
on top. You would think we had rehearsed this.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. We got it right here from Joseph
Um,
Morris, our friend.
Joseph Morris.
Yeah.
This a little different from the other stuff we've seen from him. He doesn't do
Yes,
all
this
the work
is
in
very
it.
different. This
he does-
artist that does the first story is amazing.
He's the same guy who did the front cover. It's Joel.
Yeah, I'm even going to have to put my glasses on for this.
It looks like Joel. It's Cotejar, or maybe if it's like Spanish or something.
Cotejar is what I get out of it.
Cotejar. It could be Cotejar. Or
Yeah, it could be.
It looks like Cotejar.
look at
Cotejar.
That's
Yeah.
him.
Tremendous.
And it has letters by Mark Haynes,
Mark
who
Haynes, yeah.
also draws comics.
Mhm.
And the
Story.
character you're looking at, Mr. Midnight, is from Bob Elkinsas cast.
Babalinskas.
Bob Eliskins.
I'd call him Babalinskas.
Yeah, okay, that's good enough for me.
He was
And
a
he's
former.
been around a long time.
Yeah, he was chairman
Yes.
of the UFO a
Was
while
he?
back.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we got Mr. Midnight here, as you showed this
You-
page.
You can't have better cartooning than this. Oh
That's
my
brilliant.
gosh.
Yeah,
Very, very good.
that is amazing.
Maybe we don't know how to pronounce Cotejar, but he can sure draw.
I'm still thinking Cotejar.
Cotejar, you think?
Cotejar. Cotejar.
I don't know.
Let us know, guys. How do you pronounce
Yeah.
that, if you know?
Yeah, phonetically some way write it out. But what an
Yeah.
artist. Oh my God.
And this is like traditional superhero stuff.
Yeah.
The hero, Mr. Midnight, who has a pet owl with him,
Yes.
comes up against lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm.
This lightning-powered villain, and highly dramatic poses. But really, the panels and everything, the panel layout is great. It's easy to read. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Oh yeah, a lot of
And,
action.
Yeah.
Look at that clunk.
Mhm.
Now that's
It's
a punch. If you're
It's
gonna
a fight
punch
issue
somebody-
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the owl.
Yeah, I see the
Right
clunk
here
here.
is the owl that is
Uh-huh.
part of the story. Boy, very, very cool. And then there is a story, like I said, by Mark Haynes in here, where he draws the story.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to look at something very, very different, very cool, but very different.
It's a funeral. It's
yeah.
The funeral, not a hoax, not an imaginary tale. The death of Dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these heroes, Dynamic.
Could be the guy in the left corner there.
This shows him in action when he was still around.
Yeah.
Going up against the bad
but
guy.
It is,
Howell.
Yeah, there's the service right there.
Yeah.
They're having for him.
Apparently, he was killed in a battle against the evil Eric Equinox.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That's what we think.
Where am I at? Right there. Eric
there,
Equinox. Yeah. What's interesting is it's a pretty straight. Okay, it's a pretty straight. It's a funeral. You know, you got the priest there and everything. You got his ex-lover.
Mm-hmm. Down there.
She's very sad. And
but
all of a sudden,
something does happen. If you can see, if I can get this page right.
There it is.
Notice what's kind of starting to happen there.
This guy pops in there.
Guy. Yeah.
Eric Equinox pops in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very
look
quickly.
At the next panel.
Yeah, I mean, look at the people down below. They're like, oh my gosh, you know.
Whoop. Yeah.
And he pops in, and you can't tell Dynamic anything now, can you? Why? Because of my superior intellect. I did it. I spent my whole life planning for this moment. Dynamic dead. And then he phases out and disappears from the world. He just had to pop in and make his point. But this guy's still on the loose. So I got a feeling his day of reckoning is coming. But yeah, apparently this is a real funeral for the guy, Dynamic.
Yeah.
And then Joseph Morris himself.
Joseph Morris, who is the publisher, has a completely wordless story in here.
Yeah. And this looks
his
like
unique style of cartooning.
It looks like a giant space station. It looks like it has a city on top of it. It looks like buildings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cities on top.
It kind of comes down to Earth.
Yeah, and
this
unleashes
little village, I would think.
And sends out missiles. Missiles.
Yeah.
Missiles that open up.
Here they are coming down. Boom, pow, pow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Looks like quite a mess. And the earthly inhabitants, it looks like they're from like a region of Mongolia or somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, they're there, ready to defend themselves. They don't have a chance, obviously, but...
Yeah. You see the door open from one of those canisters that landed.
The door opens, and these robot beings come out.
We're giving the whole thing away, but these robots come out. We better quit giving the whole doggone thing away.
This is very dramatic. It's not
but it's cool.
like Joseph Morris does a lot of humorous stuff. This
is cool.
So
and
humorous.
This is so hard to do without words. But I can follow it. I can see what's going on.
Since it's a continued story, I think we can mention while the door is open, this satanic being comes out and says, "Repent."
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know. If I saw that guy, I think I would repent.
Probably repent right away.
Right away.
I'm sorry. Yep.
I didn't mean it. It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. It was my wife. She made me do it. You know. Whatever. You know. Don't tell your wife that I said that. 'Cause some people get offended. You know.
Anyway, that's this Action Theater. There's a new one coming out, I think, in the fall, and you want to look forward to that. And the price on this is $4. That's $4. Well worth it. I hope we haven't shown too much.
Anything from Joseph Morris is
enjoy
well worth. I don't think we showed too much. There's a lot of cool stuff in here.
I don't think we did, but we're sometimes guilty of that.
We get a little over wordy one.
We get a little excited.
I think.
Because the art's so cool.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll say we do Yeet Presents.
We're gonna do Yeet. Okay. From Mike Jones and
Mike Jones.
Everyone else who's involved with that. Shane Luttrell is very much involved with Yeet. I don't think he has anything in this particular issue, but it does have terrific. Well, no, we're going to forget that. The front cover is based on Frazetta, and this is outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a recreation of Frank Frazetta, a drawing, but it's done so well. It's like, and who did this?
Who is that? Who is that by? I'm trying to find out.
Vince Rodriguez.
Oh, okay.
After Frank Frazetta.
But
wow.
This story has a number of artists that do this story.
Mm-hmm. Written
In fact,
by Dennis Miller.
If you show that, I can read the artists. Just show maybe the first page or something. But the artists: Warren Muzak, Ken Bestard, Lance Butcher, Mark Ryzodik. I don't know how to say that. There's inkers, Warren Muzak and Rob Cox, and letterer Chuck Malley. So there's all kinds of people involved in this, and you will see as you go through, you'll notice the art change a little bit as you go through the story.
Yeah, and Shane Luttrell did in fact draw page 11.
Yeah, and his name not even listed here.
Steve Shipley.
Yes, it is. I didn't see it. It is over on the side. Shane Luttrell is listed, yes.
Steve Shipley
he
does
did page 11. Yeah.
Page 7 and 8. I'll show you the difference between page 6, okay, and page 7. Okay, page 7 is Steve Shipley.
Oh, there you go.
But the inkers on this strip made it so cohesive that you don't notice the switch.
Yeah. I didn't mention Steve Shipley either because some of these are over to the side and I didn't see them.
Inked by Warren Muzak and Rob Cox. So it holds together very, very well.
But here you can see the difference in the style.
Occasionally you can see
kind
a
of
difference.
a style here. See that? And then it goes to this kind of a thing.
Yep.
From a different artist.
Yeah.
Very
It's all really, really a terrific science fiction artwork. I like Shane Luttrell's page. He's got this monster is revealed. He wasn't immediately apparent, but there he goes, and he has like tentacle arms and stuff, and of course there's a big fight. Now we got this character is interesting too, because this guy was like a victim, and towards somewhere along the lines, he decides to fight back against the aliens, even though he had been captured. And but it deals with a floating transport out there in space, a cargo grifter, and it loses power, and so they're looking for some help. This guy has a character. You can see her on the front. She's transparent, but it's not a real character. Like a computer with a hologram of a woman. Evangeline. There's some humorous dialogue between her and the main character. His name is Rex. But he goes back and anyway, his cargo ship it crashes, and there's a time where he's not on the ship anymore. He finds himself on an alien ship and coming across different people on the ship. This one's interesting because okay, he sees this lady on the ship, and he's talking to her. She says, We operate with funding from a galactic conservatory trust. She wants to let him know that she's not on the side of, I guess if it was like Star Wars, it'd be the rebels and the Empire.
Yeah.
But apparently they've got something like that going on. And he says a little appreciation would be appropriate because he's still stunned. And and what he does, well, I mean, what would a guy do? Well, I wouldn't do this, but he grabs her there.
Oh, watch out! Watch out!
Sexist pig that he is.
Yep.
He says, "Now, ma'am, I can be very appreciative." And she's not too happy about it. And he says, "I'm sorry, I'll be here to behave myself in the future." But he loses control because she's very attractive. Not funny, sexist pig, man.
There you go.
Male chauvinist. But a funny male chauvinist. And there's a lot of there are battle scenes. Remember
scenes.
the big
Monsters
the
and
tentacled monster.
All kinds of stuff.
And there's a lot of action here. And like I say, it holds together very well for a story that's 17 pages long.
Yeah.
I won't show you the ending.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're done with that part, the next part is very cool. This is the evening fish wrap.
Yeah.
By Don Simpson, who is an excellent artist.
Absolutely, really.
If you don't know what the evening fish wrap is, it's a newspaper. But when you're down around the docks, they sell fish and wrap it in the newspaper. So that's
you
what.
You can see the docks are here.
Yeah, and look at the bottom. Let me see if I can get the docks here.
Skeletons.
Yeah. Right? I can't get it. I can't get it.
Giant octopus tentacles coming up out of the water.
Yeah. And done in 2023 also. It's not old.
Yeah.
And the story must be by Kyle Robards.
Right.
But the art is by Don Simpson.
Don Simpson has a terrific cartoony style in his script.
Yeah, it's just great.
It's reminiscent, I think, of Will Eisner a little bit, the spirit.
I would say that a little bit,
and I'll mention that too because there's a story. I'm skipping ahead, but there's an artwork from William Messner Loebs. There's actually a drawing in him, an illustration. Looks like a wash illustration of the spirit.
But that is by
William Messner Loebs.
I think but let me see something. Let me if I can find it, I will look it up, but I can't find it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
It says copyright Will Eisner.
Will Eisner. It's Eisner's drawing.
Is it his art? Because it says the art of William Messner Loebs, and it's signed
if you look down there in the
2020.
corner, if you look in the corner, it says Eisner.
If you look on the right side, it looks like Will has signed it. I think I think it's a recreation. Like the cover. The cover is a Frazetta recreation. I think this is a recreation. Either way.
Could be.
Either way, it's totally cool.
He might have recreated that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He certainly has the talent.
Yeah.
And
on the next page, we have Joe Carrales. Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty short story in here.
Right. And this is
Black
sort of
and
an in-between story, looks like.
Yeah. Kind of.
Looks like this
is a recap,
girls,
it says.
Mm-hmm.
It says recap of I guess of the story. I don't know what he means by recap exactly, but okay.
Well, the girls are they're going to interview a calamity. A calamity? No, a candidate. It's called Candidate Calamity.
Candidate Calamity Part 2.
Going to meet the candidate.
Yeah.
And there's Joe Carrales' artwork there in black and white this time.
Yep, black and white and black, white, and gray, as a matter of fact. So
yeah.
As all. And
the doctor.
Oh, and then he did the last inside cover is in color. How about that?
A little extra, a little plus.
Yeah. How about
this
that?
This is the evil Dr. P. Moses.
Yes, and he
He's
has
he's a scientist with insidious motives.
and a magnifying glass also.
And
Yep.
yeah, so
So you got
well,
a ton of stuff in Yeet, which is always true. Yeet is always good.
mhm.
And that's Mike Jones produces Yeet. Is that correct? I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Mike
Mike
Jones. Yeah, this one. If you wonder, you know, one thing I would like to see more of in Joe L.A. Carrales' artwork. These are superheroes, so it would be cool to see more of the superheroics.
Yeah,
he
we don't-
concentrates on the character development stuff. At least it has Nico, the Wonder Kitty, turning into a little kitty in this one.
Yeah.
For
Well,
a
we do
little bit.
have a Joe, the whole book coming up here shortly. So
Yeah.
this is, but yeah, they don't always do their superhero stuff, even though the girls are superheroes.
So it's a lot of character development. So that can get kind of involved, kind of intricate. And but that's what he's doing. But it would be cool, you know. It's a comic book, and it would be cool to see some exciting action, and you know, if these are powerful girls, you know, like
Yeah.
Marie
Look
is
what's
kind
coming
of like
up.
Supergirl.
On the back page, he shows 3 covers by Don Simpson
Don
coming
Simpson.
up for the Improbable Girl and Wonder Kitty. Don Simpson does a great job. In fact, the one we're going to review here is a Don Simpson cover. So,
Yep.
yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All in all, another great issue of Yeet Presents. You can contact Mike Jones about ordering info.
I'll have his information down below, and
Yeah.
you can. I think you know what's funny. It says that the price is 10 cents. Now, that's a bit of a throwback because you're not getting this for 10 cents. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that. Yeah.
It's published by Cost of Paper, so you're going to have to pay for the cost of paper on this. And it's more than 10 cents, I can tell you that.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So,
What do we got next here?
well, you
What
want to go
you-
straight into the Improbable Girl and the Wonder Kitty?
We can do that with a cover by Don Simpson.
Yeah. That's just
There it
really nice. I
is.
can't stop looking at his artwork. It's such
His
a
artwork
contrast.
is
Very different
so
from
good.
Joe L.A. Carrales.
Yes.
But
Yes.
rather cartoony, somewhat 1950s, early 1960s. It's actually the way it looks to me, as far as the style goes, but very attractive, and it really stands out. I mean, you really notice it when you see it.
Yeah.
So,
So I think there's 2. If I understood this correctly, there's not one continuous story. I don't believe.
mhm.
I think there's the beginning here of. Let me see here.
Well, we got a nasty bad guy. He's a Duke. What is it? Duke Daniel? Duke Daniel of Xandu.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
That guy right
see
there. He looks
Yeah.
like almost like a Nazi guy, you know.
Yeah.
And
But
he's,
they're in a
he's
different. This is in a different country to start off with.
they're the Caribbean Stronghold headquarters of Organization Orco. O-R-K-O. A meeting is already in session. They're not happy with the U.S., and especially with these mail clerks who have disrupted their plans in the past.
Yeah, those mail clerks really are a pain.
Yeah, darn mail you know,
Yeah.
the supreme leader is here listening to all this. Silence! Enough of this disgraceful prattle. He's a dramatic figure. I don't want to take any crap from anybody. There's an evil accomplice for the Duke Daniel. Her name is Dafida.
Oh yeah, that's her right there.
There she goes.
Right there next to him.
Yeah. So the supreme
And she
leader
doesn't
says,
put up with any baloney from anybody, as a matter of fact. she'll tell him off or anybody else.
Yeah, she talks to the Duke. The Duke, he's a higher up, and she says she says, try anything, and I'll ensure a bullet makes its way into your brain scan.
See, you mess with her.
So, you don't mess with her, man.
Don't make her mad.
Yeah,
That's simple as that.
She's bad news. Now, the Duke has a guy that is going to help him, another guy in the organization, Leprechaun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's Leprechaun right there with the big specs. And this is a long issue. So I don't want to get into too much detail because...
No, we can't do that because it is very long.
Yeah.
And lots and lots of detail in here.
Duke
that
Daniel
you have got to pay very close attention.
Yeah. And it turns out Leprechaun, Dr. Leprechaun tells the Duke that there is a treasure in Wales over there by England. So they head off in search of the treasure. The High Commander, the Supreme Leader, gives them 25 other people to work for them, and they go off, and it turns out the treasure is this amulet. It looks like a little amulet, but it's it's a very powerful amulet, and I can tell this much because but there is a dispute between the Duke. And he's pissed off. He's pissed off because it's a trinket. It's an amulet. Where's the treasure? And he says, Leprechaun says, this is the treasure. And, they get in a little dispute. The Duke pulls a gun, and Leprechaun unleashes the power of the amulet, and so much for a Duke Daniel.
Yeah,
at least for now. That's why I'm saying I can give away that part, but I can't give away the ending.
Can't give away too much here.
Yeah. And
this is a long story. I'm going to say this is 36. Wait a minute. No, that's not right. 32 pages.
Yeah, 32 pages.
Or 31 exactly. 31
all in beautiful
color.
Full color.
Yeah. I do have one comment here that I don't know if Joe may not be too happy with me, but what Joe has done here is if you look in the first panel, you will see the girl has fallen down. The first panel below is a close-up of the same panel, and then the right panel is a close-up again. That is copying the first panel, pasting up the second panel, and pasting up the third panel. That's okay, but I wouldn't rely too much on that. You got to draw your comics. There's, I know it's the same. They're speaking at the same time and all that, but you could show a shot from above, a shot from the side, rather than copying the same. Picture over and over.
That's not a bad idea. Perspective shots.
Perspective.
Above,
do a little of that
angle.
Because it is a comic book, and you are the director. You're the cameraman. You're the director. You're everything in a comic book, and it's a lot of work. And this is long, so I can understand why you might want to take a little shortcut. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't do it. I draw all the panels, but, my books aren't this long. This is a lot of work.
Right.
Just something I noticed that he did here. And,
yeah, you can see.
He'll probably say something about it because he has a part in the back of the book where he gives learned lessons.
One thing I like about Joe is that he responds to your questions.
Oh yeah, if I say this in this video, he is going to write me up in here. I love it.
Learned said this, and this is what I have to say to Learned.
Know what he's talking about. It's probably true. So,
but there is a story, and there's a lot of action.
Yeah, there's a lot of action. It's a very complicated story. You've got to pay attention to it. There may be a little bit too much.
There's a lot of words in this.
A lot of yeah. This is a comic book. Tell the story with pictures. That's what a comic book does. But anyway, it's just a complicated story.
I remember back in the early 70s, and I remember talking with Chuck Robinson, who was the guy that put out comic and got me into small press. He coached me along as I put out my first book of any substance, which was #1. And he was saying, get rid of as much dialogue as possible and let the story tell the art. And
the art tell the story, you mean.
This is one sign of a great artist. If he can tell the story.
Yeah.
Ditko did it. Kirby did it. When they worked for Stan Lee and for Marvel Comics, they drew the stories ahead of time without any words.
Yeah.
And Stan added the dialogue. So, but as a graphic medium, the more the art tells the story, the less it's necessary for long captions and long word balloons.
Always remember that when you're drawing comics. The artwork is designed. That's why it's a comic book.
Right.
The artwork tells the story. The word balloons assist and they clarify a few things, but basically you want the artwork to tell the story.
Having said that, I mean, you could see, if in this particular issue, for instance, you could probably get rid of a lot of the artwork and just, like you could write a novel or a short story, because it does tell the story all along.
Oh, yeah, it has a lot of detail and tells the story in here, you know, but there is a lot of, you can see there's a lot of word boxes and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of description, even in the dialogue.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is Joe's style, and I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying...
No, I don't mean that. But for me, I like artwork. That's my thing, you know. Sometimes, I remember when I was a kid, I would buy comic books and not read the words at all. All I did was look at the pictures. I didn't care anything about what it said.
I can remember that.
Yeah, I did that all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just something I've been brought up with all my life, that the pictures tell the story.
But Joe has...
He has a great imagination.
Ton of energy. Right. He's got a ton of energy. He's very enthusiastic about what he does.
Yeah.
He has a story in mind, and he tells that story the best way that he knows how to do.
This is a book, so this is $10. You know, this is not only did the story 32 pages, but there's a bunch of pages after that, and it goes all the way to page 40. So there's 40 pages in here. Yeah.
And it is an involving story. So if you read it very carefully, you get very involved with these characters.
I'm not a patient reader. I'm terrible. I am terrible.
But I wrote, one of the early stories I wrote in Mantra, because of what Chuck Robinson said to me, I did a couple of stories that didn't have any dialogue at all. They were just pictures.
To do.
Yeah. And,
we just looked at Joseph Morris doing that, and we could follow it perfectly. But that's hard to do.
Yeah. So
I got to have a few words.
Have to let the artwork tell the story.
Yeah.
That's the type of medium that comics are.
That's what a comic book is.
Comics, captions, and word balloons, all this stuff is useful. But I would limit those to what is absolutely needed. That's my opinion. Nonetheless, we love Joe Carrales, and we love everything that he does. So I'm not going to dwell on that too much.
Just trying to help. All we're trying to do is help.
Yeah.
Let's hurry up. Getting late.
He does say nice stuff about us.
Oh, yeah. He's always very complimentary. So
here's a picture that Joe did of Larned and me.
In his book.
Yeah, and you can see even in these drawings, I'm still the better looking guy.
I noticed that, and I'm going to talk to Joe about that.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. We got Guy Sparkman.
Where are we at? We got the guy? Okay.
Action Hero Adventures.
Action Hero
This is issue
Adventures.
number 1. Guy Sparkman story. Tony Lorenz art. Again, Tony Lorenz.
And Verl Holt Bond cover in full color.
Yeah, the full color cover by Verl Holt Bond.
Yeah.
And this one is $5.50. The price on this is $5.50.
Mm-hmm.
And this story, again, gets here's his artwork in here.
Well, this one reprint. The first story. Do you remember the first story is a reprint?
Yes, the first story has been printed before.
Right. About.
It's kind of a cool little story. You can't say too much about it or we give it away, but it's kind of neat.
Right. It's about this rocket ship lands on the Earth.
Yeah.
And is found by this magician type
He's
guy.
a kind of a he's
Lazar.
kind of a, yeah.
The sorcerer, Lazar the sorcerer.
He's a sorcerer. There he is, right there.
Yeah, and he finds little reptilian guy in the strip in the ship, seemingly innocent, except he looks like an alligator man.
Yeah, he kind of takes the guy in,
Takes him in, adopts him as his own son.
Yeah. He thinks, boy, this is kind of neat. I'll just kind of take care of the guy.
And years later, the reptilian guy, something inside of him turns him into the monster that he was meant to be. He attacks. He has two brothers, and he attacks one of them here. But he starts to reveal himself for his true self. And we reviewed this before, so
yeah, pretty cool.
And the surviving son, after I guess he kills the sorcerer. Does he kill him too?
I don't know. I wouldn't give too much more away because it's a short story.
Well, he tries to kill his family. There's one Zartek. The reptile is banished. He's banished to another dimension or something. And the other son, Zartek, goes into suspended animation to await there in case of the return of his brother Arthur.
Arthur is a strange name of a reptilian guy, but Arthur is. So.
And
but then, are you finished with that one?
That was chapter 1.
And chapter 2 is completely different because it's chapter 2 of a different story completely.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
It's the same story.
It is the same. How does that? I don't see how they connect.
It happens years later. Right. They're in the Wild West days.
Yeah.
And there's a killer on the loose.
Yeah.
A dark
what does it
figure.
have to do with the first story?
When you get towards the end, you see that. I'll fast forward here.
Okay.
There's a lot of there's evil killer, and he rides around with an axe.
Yeah, he's a serial killer with an axe.
Yeah, and they chase him from place to place.
Yeah, they're after him. There he is, right there with the axe. They are after him.
Right,
but
and
this story,
the good guys befriend this Indian who can become half man and half wolf. There he is. While they're seeking down, they're going to battle the bad guy. Here's what happens. This strange hooded figure appears.
Yeah.
Okay, and this lady, she's one of the good guys. She says, "What kind of creature are you?" And that's where it's revealed.
But here, there's also this wolf man here at this point, right before the other guy appears. There's a wolf man here.
But the wolf man is actually one of the good guys. The thing is, the reason that it's not so obvious is they don't actually show him.
He's attacking one of the guys there. Or that's a bad guy.
They don't show him in his reptilian form.
Oh, maybe that's what I missed.
Yeah, so he's in this hood.
Okay.
Where's the part? There's a part where
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, there's a part where the brother who was in suspended animation, he's a Xander or whatever his name was, Zartek. He comes to help them. Let me see. Here you go. Here you go. The monster attacks the Wolfman. Right there.
Okay.
And the next panel, this other figure appears from another dimension. He says, "I told you, Arthur, I would be here if you ever returned."
Yeah,
So you see, his brother, the other son, has come back to do battle with him again. But it's subtle, you know. That's why it's easy to miss that. I had to read this like a couple of times.
Yeah. And then
But I
there's
got
somebody else that shows up also here. This little guy.
The Blue Dwarf.
Yeah, the blue dwarf. Where is he? Where's the blue
Sapphire.
dwarf? I can't find it.
He's right here on the next to the last page, inside this
I'm in the wrong place.
dimensional thing. Yeah. And at the end, he's calling on him. Sapathwa is his name, the Blue Dwarf. The good guy is calling on him. He appears, and they go off into another realm, a magical, mystical realm. Looks like they have minotaurs and all kinds of centaurs, all kinds of fairy tale-like beings. And then it's left to be continued. But that's what's happening, and that's why it was easy to miss. And the first time I read it, I missed it too, just because.
You know,
he mentions
we're trying
his
to
name.
read a lot of comics, trying to hurry to get them read and all that. I missed that completely. You know. So.
Yeah. And some of these comics are some of the stuff is very subtle. You know, you got some writers out there who like to put in a little mystery. They like to make things a little bit ambiguous sometimes, and you're like wondering what's going on, you know. And you have to reread it, and you go, "Oh, now I get it," you know. And that's what happened with this one. But Guy Sparkman, he's a pal. He's been publishing for a while. The only criticism I could have of Guy Sparkman, he's heard it before, is that sometimes the grammar in the stories is a little off. You know, like he gets the verb tenses off.
Yeah, so I read that he was working on that. Couldn't be any worse than me. I can't spell nothing. I mean nothing. I have to go look up every goofy word.
Yeah.
You know, terrible.
But otherwise, just look at Tony Lorenz's artwork.
Oh yeah.
And
nice.
always worth checking out. Guy Sparkman has a lot of ideas. So
and they're all in that story.
Yeah. So he's got a fertile imagination.
Yeah.
And looking forward to his whatever comes next. I can't wait to see the sequel to this now. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
You know, with the alien, the monster.
Sure.
Here's on the front cover. There's that Wolfman guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, we better move on. We are getting.
How far along are we anyway here?
I don't know. I don't know when we started. I forgot the.
You lost track?
I think we've been on an hour. But.
Yeah. You want to keep going, or you want to save some for the next time?
Well, I mean, they sent, Strange Times they sent quite a while ago. Maybe we ought to finish with Strange Times. Because he did send that quite a while ago.
Yeah, well, before, okay. In that case...
Tom Fellrath, Strange Times.
Mm-hmm.
And this
it's all Matt Levin.
Yeah, this is the rubber stamp artist, Matt Levin, who does the entire issue. This is $6. And it is very thick. It's 58 pages for $6.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh!
It shows Matt Levin's work.
And if you know Matt Levin's artwork, you'll know what this is like. If you don't, it's going to be very different for you. Very different. It's all rubber stamps, and.
Matt does something nobody else has done in small press. Yeah. Nobody else has been able to achieve what he's been able to achieve. He just
adds a few words to these rubber stamps to not necessarily tell a story, but to get you thinking, and that's, you know, comments on nature and things like that.
You know,
all through here.
There's one point here that's on page 16 and 17, and he actually talks about it in his story. And the rubber stamps, it looks like a realistic comic book scene. He says, "I like the simplicity of stamps.
Yeah.
All over forest, only one tree." He goes on and on, but this is the kicker, and this really tells you what you need to know about Matt Levin. He says, "My hope is to create a minimalist elegance."
Yeah. And that really tells you what he's all about.
That's what he does.
The entire book is that way.
And much of this is in color.
He also writes music. There's some music he's written there. Plays the guitar and writes music and does rubber stamp art. And I think somewhere in there a picture of the wall where there it is on the back. Look at the rubber stamp.
Ah, that's the wall. I mentioned this before.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
That's incredible. All of his rubber stamp images are on the wall.
How many rubber stamps he has?
Somewhere in his home.
Man.
But this guy he's created, basically, he's pretty much created his own unique art form by using all of these rubber stamps. And he has quite a collection of them. And it's just beautiful the way he puts this all together. Some of this, it's all it's lyrical and it's poetic. Some of this is in full color.
Yeah. He even lists the rubber stamp companies that he buys from. Back here.
I saw that too. I'm just trying to figure out the colors. So I'm going to put on my colorblind glasses here. I am colorblind, and I do have some colorblind correction glasses. Let me see what it looks like. I see blue. I think I see some orange or something there. Am I right?
I can't find a page.
Oh, I see green. That's page 15.
Page 15. No wonder. I'll explain to you what the colors are as soon as I find
this one here. It's hard to see.
They're blue.
It looks red. Is that red?
It's a browny red. Yeah, I would. You could call it red. It's kind of brownish.
I'll take it.
Fish, green weeds, stuff like that.
But this gave me a reason to break out my colorblind correction glasses and take a look at it.
As a matter of fact, I've gone colorblind from reading this.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, you can start like anywhere. Let me just pick a random page.
You can look at anything in here and it's kind of neat. There's a lot of standalone.
Myths and magic.
And he does things he calls music comedy, music comics. He's done that for a long time.
The myth is that we can make ourselves giants, transcendent. And you see these figures here. Get a little more colorful again there. And eternal.
This right here is the discussion between generations. The discussion between generations. You see that? That's what that is.
What page is that?
That is on page 31.
31. Oh, I was on the next page.
So the alligator is talking to the dinosaur. The discussion is between generations. And then there's some wordless rubber stamp work here too. Look at this. Just wordless. You know, you can do. And
I've seen him use those pictures before. They look kind of like
I have too. Yeah.
French or Italian or something, you know, with the beret and the.
Yeah. And then the cat down here is wordless.
I mean, I wonder if that's supposed to represent him.
There are some pictures in here that I think he said might be him.
Yeah?
He draws a little bit on here. Very thick lines when he draws.
Look at the way he puts together. You can see, I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding, because I've seen a lot of stuff in art museums and stuff. And you could put this in an art museum. This could be on a big canvas.
Oh, yeah.
And people would just be going like gawking, saying, "Hey, this is really nice." And it starts with rubber stamps.
Yeah.
But you can see how he puts it all together, how it all holds together, how cohesive it is, and how beautifully it's put together.
The moon over the water.
Mm-hmm.
At the beach there. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Look at that.
And this is all mixed with. He shows. I think he might have showed this, but anyway, he shows the lyrics for some of his songs.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics and the chords. I can probably break out my guitar and you know, work on that. You know.
Walking Man Comics, right in here. That is his artwork, his drawing. That may be him.
I was wondering that as well. I was wondering that as well.
Yeah. Anyway, there is something very different.
And there is too.
You get a piece of, I would say, a piece of art. Limited edition art, because all small press are limited edition. So you're getting limited edition art with this.
But this one, Tom Fellrath has put together. This is a keeper. This is an owner, man. This is 60 pages. 60 pages, and you don't, you go, okay, where's the superheroes? There are none. It's just, you're reading through this, and it's magical. It's otherworldly, but it also, it's got heart. It's got soul. It touches you.
And it's also got Daffy Duck. So you cannot go wrong.
Oh, Daffy's in there, huh?
Yeah. There's Daffy Duck right there. So how are you going to go wrong with a comic that includes Daffy Duck?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
5 or 6 years. He's talking about being married and being with his wife. And this is lovely. This is moving.
Dancing.
There's a lot of emotion here on display.
You say no superheroes? Wrong. Look at that frog.
My goodness. Almost no superheroes.
Almost no superheroes. But this is Super Frog. So he even includes superheroes in the comic book, because a comic book has to have superheroes. What a cool book. Wow. Tom Fellrath thought of doing that. That's pretty good.
This says music comics. This must be a song too for Benjamin when he was young. Is Benjamin his son?
Probably.
But it's a lullaby. It says, comfort to you.
Probably
comfort
is his son.
Please let my words be, also my voice be, comfort too. Sleep, sleep, find you easy. Sleep, find you soon. Find you under the passing of the moon. Sleep, find you under the passing of the moon. Well, he keeps, he's repeating things, but he does it in a poetic way.
Yeah.
And in a way that makes a point. And this particular point is a lullaby.
Well, I think we've got a couple left, but I think we're going to have to save them the next time. We found that going too long is not good. So we don't want to go too long.
Well, somebody, you guys might sit through an hour of video, but if it gets like 2 hours, you might be going like, fast forward,
So we'll just save. We've got 2 more. We'll save them till next time.
Absolutely.
And if we have to fill in with space comics that we picked up at Space, we'll do that.
Oh, we got more space comics.
We got more space, so we've got plenty of comics to do. So we'll add these, the 2 that we didn't do, to the next episode. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching, folks.